Hi, let's start with some background. JP Morgan Chase spends as much as US 600 million annually on cybersecurity systems. An average business will lose up to 3.9% of their customers as a result of a major cybersecurity incident. Banks and financial institutions can expect to lose much more than that. The IMF in June 2018 talked of the annual losses of financial institutions as a result of cyber incidents. And they say that it could be expected to be in the range of $100 to 350 billion per annum. And this obviously creates issues for financial stability. CyberTrace, which is a blockchain analysis firm, says that cryptocurrencies, right, transactions of cryptocurrencies are pervasive within the top US banks. A top US bank can expect that as much as $2 billion of cryptocurrency transactions are happening per annum, which are not being detected. 10 of 10 US retail banks, which includes both consumers and the small and medium businesses, are transacting with cryptocurrency providers. 8 of 10 US banks, right, these top banks, have unregistered money services businesses which are involved with cryptocurrencies. So crypto MSBs, which have accounts with them and they don't even know about it. 55% of top 500 cryptocurrency providers lack proper KYC. And of course, please remember that in spite of all this, you have your SAR and STR obligations nonetheless. So this situation obviously doesn't look very good. Ransomware. Ransomware is basically malware that gets installed on your computer system and shuts it down. And the criminal will then extort monies to open up the system and also to not disclose any confidential information that has been stolen. You will typically pay the criminal via cryptocurrencies. The FBI says that across 2018 and 2019, there has been a 147% increase in ransomware incidents. These are primarily focused on large corporations, and this is because they want large payouts, although small and medium enterprises, government agencies, hospitals, and schools are also not immune because they don't invest enough monies. They don't have enough monies to invest in proper cybersecurity systems. Hospitals in particular are vulnerable because firstly, it's privileged and confidential medical information, and secondly, that information is needed for their treatment protocols. The US OFAC has started designating ransomware perpetrators from 2016. And ransomware payments may involve an SDN or a blocked person or a comprehensively embargoed jurisdiction. Both the Iranians and the North Koreans have started getting involved with major ransomware attacks, and this is basically to fund their programs, right? So sanctions have impacted them, and in order to fund their programs, they've started resorting to ransomware attacks. The US OFAC has started identifying digital currency addresses which are frequently used for ransomware payments. So you now have those addresses, and if it's part of your payment detail, there is no reason why you can't monitor against that payment detail. So it creates a new onus on you also. Let's talk of the growing sophistication of ransomware operations. First is, of course, big game hunting, so a focus on large enterprises for large payouts. The second is an increasing partnership between criminals and also a sharing of resources. So a sharing of resources through sale of resources and also free of any cost. And then, of course, you have double extortion for information as well as for unlocking the system. And in terms of payments, these have typically been in Bitcoin, although nowadays there are also discounts for anonymity enhanced cryptos or AECs. We're now looking at fileless ransomware. What this means is that the malicious code is written onto the computer memory. So there's no file on the hard disk. And this creates a lot of challenges for detection. Tools facilitating money laundering include darknet marketplaces, peer-to-peer exchanges, which are typically unregistered and decentralized, unregistered foreign MSBs, and unregistered crypto ATMs. So these crypto ATMs would, for example, not have any proper KYC. So unregistered crypto ATMs. Then you have what's called the decentralized finance projects, right? Or DeFi as it's called, which is expected to be worth $16 billion. And it's supposed to be a venue for money laundering. So the US SEC has come out quite clearly on DeFi and have said that the securities law definitely applies. It's possible that the banking and lending law applies. And definitely the AML CFT laws apply to DeFi. Hackers use the decentralized exchanges typically to sell their cryptos and not really to launder cryptos on these decentralized exchanges. Crypto anonymization is achieved through privacy coins, through second layer solutions, through mixers and tumblers. And these are the devices which help in laundering of cash because they help to break the chain of the flow of funds. In April 2020, McAfee basically stated that pretty soon governments would ban Monero, Zcash, Dash because of their privacy enhancing features, right? And they would also ban distributed exchanges. The US IRS criminal investigations have announced a bounty of $625,000 for anyone who can break Monero and the BTC Lightning network. And the FBI is on a similar track. Laundering red flags. FinCEN came out with an advisory in 2019, which basically covers red flags for crypto-focused MSBs. And then in October the 1st, 2020, FinCEN came out with another advisory where they highlighted 10 financial red flags. And these include, and my list is not comprehensive, so for example, where a customer states that they're going to make a ransomware payment, where they lack knowledge of cryptocurrencies, but they start making inquiries and they also buy a cryptocurrency. Where they make a payment to a cryptocurrency exchange or a WASP as it's called, or that's basically a virtual asset service provider. So they make a payment to a WASP. Within the payment reference is a digital currency address, which is known for either, it's either listed on the OFAC sanctions list or it's known for making these sorts of ransomware payments. And then you have signs where you have an unregistered money services business, where the client pays to known facilitators of ransomware payments, which could be, for example, digital forensic firms or, for example, cyber insurance firms. Then you have transactions on the accounts of these known facilitators, so forensic firms and cyber insurance firms. Transactions with cryptocurrency exchanges, crypto MSBs in known high-risk jurisdictions. In September 2020, the Financial Action Task Force came out with a list of, came out with a report for virtual assets, red flags for money laundering and terrorist financing. And that list by FATF provides a lot more detail, so it's worth looking at. Let's talk a little bit about KYC. So in October 2020, CipherTrace came out with a report on KYC, where they basically highlighted that over 50% of exchanges, of cryptocurrency exchanges, have weak KYC protocols. And they highlighted specifically the exchanges in Europe and also in three main countries, which is the US, UK, and Russia. CipherTrace have a product called Armada, where they come out with KYC scores of WASPs. So VASP, which is your virtual asset service providers, which include cryptocurrency exchanges. And using this product, Armada, you can manage the risk, or you can manage the counterparty risk specifically, of hundreds of WASPs and unregulated MSBs. CipherTrace also have a joint offering with NICE Actimize, where you can map transactions with account numbers and names of WASPs. And just to be absolutely clear, this statement is in no way financed by CipherTrace. Okay. So to conclude, let's talk a little bit about Singapore. So in June 2019, a Singapore exchange called Bitru was hacked, and Singapore and US dollar 4.2 million in two currencies, in Ripple and in Cardona, were stolen. So basically, 4.2 million US dollars worth were stolen. And you also have the Singapore Payment Services Act, which is in effect from the 28th of January 2020, and it requires operating licenses. And you also have an associated notice, which is PSN 02, which covers e-wallets and cryptocurrency exchanges. So this particular MAS notice requires source of wealth and source of funds verification for PEPs, politically exposed persons, for their associates, their friends, their families, and also for high-risk customers, their beneficial owners, and also for high-risk transactions. To conclude, I would say that it's going to take a while for the ecosystem around cryptocurrencies to become solid, right? But I'm very optimistic that we'll get there. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it.